I was sitting on my beat-up couch, the one with the springs poking through the cushion, when my phone buzzed on the coffee table. It was a Wednesday night, nothing special, just me, a cold beer, and the hum of the ball game on the TV. The name on the screen said Carrie, my older sister. I almost didn't pick up. She only calls when she wants something, and I was already 3 sips into forgetting the day. But guilt's a funny thing. It's got a way of making you answer, even when you know better. Hey, Jake, she said, voice all syrupy like she was selling something. How you holding up? Fine, I said, keeping it short. What's up? She sighed, that long, dramatic kind she's perfected since we were kids. It's about Dad's retirement party this weekend. You know, the big shindig at that fancy steakhouse downtown? Yeah, I know. I'd already sent her $400 to help cover the deposit. Took it right out of my savings, money I'd been scraping together for a new transmission on my truck. Well, she said, pausing like she was about to drop a bomb. I was thinking, maybe you should sit this one out. I set the beer down, slow, like I didn't trust my hands. Come again. It's just, look, no offense, Jake, but it's a nice place. Real upscale. And you showing up in that old flannel and work boots, it might not fit the vibe. You get me? I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because I couldn't believe she just said it out loud. You're kidding, right? I'm serious, she said, and I could picture her twirling her hair like she's in some glossy magazine shoot. It's Dad's Day, and I don't want anything awkward. Just send a card or something. Keep it simple. Simple, I repeated, my voice flat as the tabletop. I sent you $400 for this thing, Carrie. That's half the deposit. She went quiet for a second, just long enough for me to hear the clink of her wine glass in the background. Yeah, about that. I appreciate it, really. But it's better this way. Trust me. I didn't say anything. Just pulled up my banking app, found the transfer, and hit cancel. $400 slid back into my account like it had never left. All right, I said. No problem. Thanks, Jake. You're the best. She hung up before I could tell her what I really thought. I didn't sleep much that night. Kept replaying her words in my head, old flannel, work boots, awkward. Like I was some bum she was ashamed of. Thing is, I'm not fancy, sure. I'm a welder, hands rough as sandpaper, clothes stained with grease half the time. But I've always pulled my weight. More than that, even. Growing up, Carrie got the spotlight, cheerleading, prom queen, all that jazz. Me? I was the quiet one fixing the lawnmower or bailing her out when she blew her rent money on a new purse. And I never minded. Not till now. Friday rolled around, and I wasn't planning to go anywhere near that steakhouse. I'd already told myself I was done with the whole mess. But around 6, I got a wild hair. Put on my cleanest shirt, not flannel, mind you, a button-up I'd worn to a buddy's wedding once and drove downtown. Not to crash the party, just to see it from the outside. Call it curiosity, or maybe spite. I parked across the street from Mason's Grill, this swanky joint with valet parking and a glowing sign out front. Through the big windows, I could see them carrying some glittery dress, Mom with her pearl earrings, Dad in his one good suit, grinning like he'd won the lottery. They looked like a postcard family, all polished and perfect. Then the sign caught my eye again. Not just Mason's Grill. It said Mason's Grill, proprietor, Jacob Mason, in smaller letters underneath. Yeah, that's me. Jacob Mason. I own the place. See, they didn't know. Nobody in the family did. I'd spent the last 5 years building this restaurant from the ground up, started as a line cook, saved every dime, took out loans, worked nights and weekends till my hands bled. Opened the doors 2 years ago, and it's been packed ever since. I don't flaunt it. Still live in the same rundown apartment, still drive my '98 Ford. Never saw the point in bragging. But standing there, watching them laugh and clink glasses in my place, something flipped in me. I walked in, not as a guest, but as the boss. The hostess, Ginny, saw me and straightened up. Mr. Mason, didn't expect you tonight. Change of plans, I said, nodding toward the private room in the back. They here. Yes, sir. Party of 12. Booked under Carrie Mason. I smirked. Let's pay them a visit. I strolled through the dining room, past the leather booths and chandeliers, till I hit the private room. The door was half open, and there they were, Carrie holding court, Mom fussing over the table settings, Dad telling some loud story to Uncle Ray. I leaned against the frame and cleared my throat. Carrie saw me first. Her face went stiff, like she'd swallowed a lemon. Jake, what are you doing here? Working, I said, casual as can be. Then I pointed up at the sign above the bar, same one as outside. Welcome to my place. Mom's fork clattered on her plate. You're, what? My restaurant, I said. Been mine for 2 years now. Dad squinted at me like I'd grown a second head. You're joking. Nope. I crossed my arms. And your reservation? Cancelled. Carrie shot up, her chair scraping the floor. You can't do that. Private business, I said. I can do whatever I want. You told me to skip it, right? Said I'd ruin the vibe. So I figured I'd save you the trouble. Mom's voice went sharp. Jacob, this is ridiculous. It's your father's retirement. Funny, I said. Didn't feel like my family when Carrie told me I wasn't good enough to show up. They stared at me, mouths half open, like fish on a dock. Jenny popped her head in. Mr. Mason, need me to escort them out? I looked at Carrie's red face, Mom's trembling hands, Dad's clenched jaw. Yeah, I said. Show them the door. They didn't go quiet. Carrie yelled something about me being petty. Mom muttered about manners. Dad just shook his head like I'd let him down. I watched them shuffle out, past the fancy tables and the customers who didn't know the drama unfolding, and I felt nothing. Not mad, not sad, just empty. I didn't stick around after that. Told Jenny to lock up and drove to this little dive bar I've loved since I was 21. Ordered a burger and a whiskey, sat in the corner, and let the jukebox drown out the noise in my head. My phone stayed dark. No texts, no calls. Guess they were too mad to even try. But I knew it wouldn't last. They'd come around eventually, once the shock wore off. And when they did, I'd be ready. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of my neighbor's dog barking like the world was ending. My head felt heavy, not from the whiskey, just from the weight of what I'd done. I rolled out of bed, shuffled to the kitchen, and started the coffee maker. It's one of those cheap ones that gurgles like it's dying, but it gets the job done. I stood there, staring at the drip, trying to figure out if I'd gone too far last night. Kicking my family out of my own restaurant, man, that's the kind of thing you see in movies, not real life. My phone was still on the counter where I'd left it, face down like it might bite me if I flipped it over. I knew what was coming. They wouldn't let it slide, not Carrie, not Mom, not Dad. They're the type who thinks silence is surrender, and I just waved a red flag in their faces. Sure enough, when I finally grabbed the thing and powered it on, it lit up like a pinball machine. 7 missed calls, a dozen texts, and a voicemail that I could already hear in Mom's disappointed tone before I even hit play. First text was from Carrie, timestamped at 11:03 last night. You're a jerk, Jake. Hope you're happy. Then Dad, 11:15. That was low, son. Real low. Mom piled on at 11:20. I can't believe you'd do this to your father on his big night. We raised you better. The rest were variations of the same, anger, guilt trips, a couple of choice names I won't repeat. The voicemail was Mom again, 8:02 this morning. Jacob, this is your mother. I don't know what's gotten into you, but you need to call me back. We're a family, and families don't treat each other like this. Your sister's a mess. Fix it. I set the phone down and poured my coffee. Took a sip, black and bitter, just how I like it. Fix it. Like I was the one who broke something. Funny how they didn't mention Carrie telling me I wasn't good enough to show up, or the $400 I'd shelled out only to get uninvited. Nope, in their world, I was the bad guy for not taking it on the chin like always. I didn't call back. Not yet. Instead, I threw on some jeans and a hoodie, grabbed my keys, and headed to the restaurant. Saturday mornings are slow, mostly just prep for the dinner rush, so it's when I do my thinking. The place was quiet when I got there, just the hum of the walk-in cooler and the clatter of pots from the kitchen. Jenny was behind the host stand, flipping through a clipboard. She looked up when I walked in. Morning, boss, she said, smirking a little. You survived the family reunion? Barely, I said, rubbing the back of my neck. They give you any trouble on the way out? No, just a lot of huffing and puffing. Your sister tried to argue, but I told her the owner's word is final. She didn't like that. I chuckled. Yeah, she wouldn't. Jenny hesitated, then added, You okay, though? That was intense. I shrugged. I'll live. Thanks for handling it. She nodded and went back to her clipboard. I wandered into the kitchen, said hey to the prep crew, Carlos chopping onions, Maria rolling dough for the dinner rolls. They didn't ask questions, just kept working, which I appreciated. I grabbed a stool by the back door and sat there, watching them move like a well-oiled machine. This place, this restaurant, it's mine. Not just the name on the sign, but every brick, every table, every paycheck I sign. I built it without them, without their help or their approval. So why did it still sting? Around noon, my phone buzzed again. Carrie this time, calling. I let it ring twice, then picked up. Figured I might as well get it over with. What? I said, skipping the hello. Jake, you've got some nerve, she snapped, voice sharp enough to cut glass. You humiliated us last night. In front of everyone. Uncle Ray, Aunt Linda, the whole crew. Dad's devastated. Devastated, I echoed. He looked pretty happy sipping that bourbon in my dining room. Don't play dumb, she said. You kicked us out like we're trash. Over what? Because I said you shouldn't come? Grow up. I leaned back against the wall, the cool brick grounding me. You told me I'd ruin it, Carrie. Said I wasn't classy enough. I just listened. Oh, please, she said, and I could hear her pacing, heels clicking on hardwood. You took it way too personal. I was trying to keep things nice for Dad. Nice, I said. Right? For $100 worth of nice, huh? She went quiet again. Then, you canceled the transfer, didn't you? Yep. Minute you told me to stay home. You're unbelievable, she said, and her voice cracked a little, like she might cry. She's good at that, turning on the waterworks when she's cornered. I can't believe you'd do this to me. To you. I said. Carrie, I've been bailing you out since we were kids. Car payments, phone bills, that time you borrowed, my rent money for a Vegas trip. I'm done. You're done, she repeated, like it was a foreign language. What's that supposed to mean? Means I'm not your bank anymore. Or your punching bag. She laughed, short and bitter. You're jealous. That's what this is. I've got a good job, a nice life, and you're stuck in your greasy little world. Mad because I'm doing better. I almost dropped the phone. Greasy little world. My restaurant pulls in more in a month than her marketing gig does in a year. But sure, I'm the loser. Keep telling yourself that. I said. Enjoy the party. I hung up before she could fire back. My hands were shaking, not mad, just tired. Tired of the same old song and dance. I stuck the phone in my pocket and headed out front. The lunch crowd was trickling in, regulars mostly, guys in suits, a few families. I nodded at them, played the part of the friendly owner, but my head was miles away. By 3, I was back in my truck, driving nowhere special. Just needed the road, the rumble of the engine, something to drown out the noise. I ended up at this old fishing spot by the river, a place Dad used to take me before he decided Carrie was the only kid worth his time. Sat on the bank with a cheap gas station coffee and watched the water roll by. My phone stayed quiet for once, and I let it. That night, I crashed early, figuring I'd deal with the rest tomorrow. But around 2 in the morning, it buzzed again. Text from Mom. Your sister's right. You're jealous. Call me when you're ready to apologize. I stared at it, the blue light burning my eyes. Apologize. For what? For standing up for myself? For not letting them walk all over me like they always have? I turned the phone off and rolled over. They could wait. I wasn't ready to play their game, not yet. But deep down, I knew this wasn't over. They'd come at me again, harder this time. And when they did, I'd have to decide how far I was willing to push back. Sunday morning hit me like a freight train. I woke up with a crick in my neck from sleeping wrong, the kind that makes you wince every time you turn your head. The apartment was quiet, just the faint drip of the kitchen faucet I keep meaning to fix. I didn't turn my phone back on. Didn't want to. I knew what I'd find, more guilt trips, more accusations, maybe a sob story from Carrie about how I'd ruined her life. Instead, I made eggs, scrambled them with some leftover cheese, and ate standing over the sink. Simple. No drama. By noon, I was restless. Couldn't sit still, couldn't shake the feeling that something was brewing. I've known my family long enough to smell trouble before it knocks. So I grabbed my jacket, a beat-up denim thing I've had since high school, and headed to the shop. Not the restaurant this time, but my other spot, a little garage I ran on the edge of town. It's where I tinker with my truck, weld scrap into whatever I feel like, just mess around. It's mine, paid for with cash, no one else's name on it. I was under the hood, fiddling with the carburetor, when I heard tires crunching gravel outside. Didn't even have to look up to know who it was. That's the thing about family, they don't let you hide for long. The engine cut off, a door slammed, and then there were footsteps. I wiped my hands on a rag and stepped out into the sunlight. It was Dad. He stood there in his old Carhartt jacket, hands in his pockets, looking at me like I was a stranger. Jake, he said, voice gruff. Dad, I said back, keeping it neutral. What's up? He didn't answer right away. Just kicked at the dirt with his boot, like he was working up to something. Finally, he said, you really tore into us Friday night. Your mom's been crying all weekend. Carrie too. I leaned against the garage door, crossing my arms. That's so? Yeah, that's so, he said, his tone sharpening. You made a scene, son. Kicked us out of your fancy restaurant like we're some bums off the street. What's gotten into you? I took a deep breath, let it out slow. What's gotten into me? How about Carrie telling me I'm too trashy to show up to your party? Or the fact I've been footing bills for you all for years, and nobody says thanks, just give more. He frowned, deep lines creasing his forehead. That's not how it is. Really? I said. 'Cause last I checked, I paid for half that dinner you enjoyed till I pulled the plug. And that's just this month? What about the time I covered your truck repair? Or when Mom needed that new fridge, and I was the one who wrote the check? Dad's jaw tightened. We've had tough spots. You know that. You're single, no kids. Thought you didn't mind helping out. Didn't mind, I said. Past tense. I'm done being the family ATM. He stared at me, hard, like he was trying to figure out if I meant it. You're blowing this out of proportion. Carrie didn't mean it like that. She just wanted it to be nice. Nice, I said, spitting the word. She called me a loser in flannel, Dad. Told me to stay home 'cause I'd embarrass you. That's not nice. That's her thinking she's better than me. She's your sister, he said, like that explained everything. Yeah, and I'm your son, I shot back. But you didn't stick up for me. None of you did. He rubbed his face, looking tired. Look, Jake, we're family. Families fight, but they don't cut each other off. Come home. Talk it out. Your mom's cooking tonight. Roast, your favorite. I almost laughed. Roast. Like that'd fix it. Nah, I said. I'm good here. Jake. No, I cut him off, sharper than I meant to. You don't get it. I'm not mad 'cause of one night. I'm mad 'cause it's been years of this. Years of me giving, and you all taking, and nobody noticing I'm drowning. I built that restaurant with my own hands, blood, sweat, the works, and you didn't even know. Didn't care to ask. Dad's mouth opened, then closed. For once, he didn't have a comeback. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. I'm not coming home to play nice. Not till you all figure out I'm not your doormat. He stood there, silent, the wind kicking up dust between us. Then he shook his head, slow, like I'd disappointed him. You've changed, son. Maybe, I said. Or maybe I just stopped pretending. He turned, walked back to his truck, and drove off without another word. I watched the taillights disappear, my chest tight but not breaking. I'd drawn a line, and he'd seen it. Whether he'd respect it, that was another story. I went back to the truck, cranked some music, old Springsteen, loud and rough, and kept working. The sun was dipping low when my phone buzzed again. I wiped my hands and checked it. Text from Carrie. Dad says you're being a stubborn ass. Just come over tonight. Mom's freaking out. I didn't reply. Just turned the music up louder and kept going. But then, an hour later, another one came in. Mom, this time? Jacob, please. I can't sleep knowing you're this angry. Let's fix this. I stared at it, thumb hovering over the screen. Part of me wanted to cave years of habit, I guess. But then I thought about Friday, about Carrie's smug voice, about Dad acting like I owed them my whole life. I locked the phone and tossed it on the workbench. They could wait. That night, I didn't go home. Stayed at the garage, crashed on an old cot I keep in the corner. The place smelled like oil and metal, but it was mine. No fake smiles, no rose to bribe me back. Just quiet. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, and realized something. This wasn't about jealousy, like they kept saying. It was about respect. And I was done begging for it. Monday morning, I headed to the restaurant early. Needed to clear my head with work. But when I got there, Jenny met me at the door, her face tight. You've got a problem, boss? What now? I said, bracing myself. She handed me a stack of papers. Your sister dropped these off an hour ago. Said it's legal stuff. Looks like she's trying to sue you. I flipped through them, some nonsense about emotional distress and financial damages. Carrie's name was all over it, claiming I'd ruined her reputation by kicking them out. I laughed, loud enough that Jenny flinched. She's suing me? For real? Looks like it, Jenny said. What do you want to do? I tossed the papers on the counter. Call my lawyer. Looks like we're fighting back. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. But if Carrie wanted a war, she was about to find out I don't back down easy. Monday afternoon, I sat in my office at the restaurant, a cramped little room off the kitchen with a desk buried under invoices and a chair that creaks every time I move. The papers Carrie dropped off were spread out in front of me, all legal jargon and big words meant to scare me. Emotional distress. Loss of standing. She was asking for 10 grand, claiming I'd wrecked her life by kicking them out of Mason's Grill. 10 grand. I couldn't decide whether to laugh or punch something. I called my lawyer, Pete. He's an old high school buddy who went off to law school while I was sweating in welding shops. He picked up on the second ring. Jake, what's up, man? Got a problem? I said, shoving the papers around. My sister's suing me. He whistled low. For what? Some crap about emotional distress. Says I humiliated her by canceling her reservation Friday night. Pete laughed, sharp and quick. She's got no case. You own the place. Private property. Your call. What's she got for evidence? Just her word, I guess, I said. And Mom and Dad whining about it. Waste of paper, he said. I'll file a motion to dismiss. But if she's serious, this could get messy. You sure you want to fight it? I leaned back, the chair groaning under me. Yeah, I'm done rolling over. All right, Pete said. Send me the docs. I'll get on it. I snapped pictures of the pages and emailed them over. Then I sat there, staring at the wall, the hum of the kitchen filtering through the door. This wasn't just about money. Carrie wanted to punish me, make me bend like I always had. But I wasn't that guy anymore. By Tuesday, word had spread. Jenny told me some regulars were asking about the family blowout. Guess Uncle Ray couldn't keep his mouth shut. I shrugged it off, kept my head down, worked the line when we got slammed at lunch. But around 2, my phone buzzed. Pete again. Bad news, he said. Your sister's lawyer just called. They're pushing forward, filed it officially this morning. Court dates in 3 weeks unless we settle. Settle? I said. She's not getting a dime. Figured you'd say that, Pete said. Good news is, I've got the dismissal ready. Her claim's shaky, no damages, no proof. We'll counter with harassment if she keeps it up. Do it, I said. Whatever it takes. I hung up and went back to work, but my gut was churning. This was real now, court, lawyers, the whole mess. I'd never pictured it coming to this, not with my own family. But then again, I'd never pictured them treating me like a cash cow either. That night, I stayed late at the restaurant, scrubbing grills and mopping floors after the crew left. Keeps my hands busy, my head quiet. Around midnight, I heard a knock on the front door. Looked up, saw Mom standing there, bundled in her winter coat, her face pale under the streetlights. I unlocked it, let her in. What are you doing here? We need to talk, she said, stepping inside, her voice shaky. This has gone too far, Jacob. Tell that to Carrie, I said, wiping my hands on my apron. She's the one suing me. Mom's eyes narrowed. And you're the one who started it, throwing us out like garbage. You broke your father's heart. I set the rag down, slow, keeping my cool. I didn't start this. Carrie did, telling me I'm too low class to show up. You all just nodded along. She didn't mean it like that, Mom said, her tone pleading. She's stressed, work, planning the party. You took it wrong. For $100 says I didn't, I shot back. I've been carrying you all for years, Mom. Nobody cares till I say no. She flinched, like I'd slapped her. We're family. We help each other. Help? I said. When's the last time you helped me? When's the last time any of you asked how I'm doing instead of what I can give? Her mouth tightened, but she didn't answer. I stepped closer. I built this place, every inch of it. You didn't know, 'cause you never asked. And now Carrie's coming for it, 'cause I wouldn't play along. She's not, Mom started, then stopped. She's upset, Jacob. She'll drop it if you apologize. I laughed, cold and hard. Apologize? For what? For owning my life? You're tearing us apart, she said, tears welling up. Please, just come home. We'll fix it. I shook my head. I'm not the one who needs fixing. Go home, Mom. She stood there a minute, then turned and left, the door clicking shut behind her. I locked it, went back to cleaning. My chest felt heavy, but I didn't crack. She wanted me to feel guilty, but I was past that now. Wednesday morning, Pete called again. Dismissals filed. Judge will see it next week. But heads up, your sister's playing dirty. She's posting online, saying you sabotaged the party out of spite. I groaned. Great. What's she saying? Some sob story. My brother ruined Dad's retirement over a grudge. It's picking up steam. You got a PR problem now. I rubbed my face. Can we stop her? Not legally, Pete said. Free speech. But you can fight back. Tell your side. I didn't want to. Didn't want the world in my business. But if Carrie was dragging my name through the mud, I couldn't just sit there. I thanked Pete, hung up, and called Jenny over. You good with phones? Social media. She grinned. Better than you, old man. Funny, I said. Help me write something. I'm not letting her win this. We spent an hour crafting a post. Short, straight, no bullshit. I own Mason's Grill. My family uninvited me from my dad's retirement party after I paid half the bill, said I wasn't good enough. I canceled their reservation. Now they're suing me. That's the truth. Jenny posted it from the restaurant's account, and within an hour, it was blowing up. Likes, shares, comments from regulars saying they'd seen the drama unfold. By Thursday, the tide turned. Local news picked it up. Slow day, I guess. Small business owner stands up to family greed, was the headline. Carrie's posts got buried under people calling her out. She went quiet online, and I figured she'd back off. I was wrong. Friday night, Dad showed up at the garage, angrier than I'd ever seen him. You happy now? He yelled, storming in. Your sister's a wreck, your mom's sick over this, and you're out here playing victim for the internet. I set my wrench down. I'm not playing anything. She sued me, Dad. What was I supposed to do? Act like a man, he snapped. Not some crybaby with a keyboard, says the guy who let her run me dry. I said, stepping up. You want to talk like men? Fine. Tell her to drop the suit, or I'll bury her in court. He glared, then left without a word. I knew then, this was war, and I had to finish it. Saturday morning, I was up before the sun, the kind of early where the world's still gray and quiet. Couldn't sleep, too much rolling around in my head. Dad's words from last night kept echoing. Act like a man. Like I hadn't been man enough busting my ass to build a life while they leaned on me like a crutch. I made coffee, strong enough to wake the dead, and sat on my porch, watching the neighborhood stir. That's when I decided I wasn't just defending anymore. I was hitting back. I called Pete first thing. What's the play? I asked, skipping the small talk. Motion to dismiss is still pending, he said, voice scratchy like he'd just rolled out of bed. Judge will rule soon. But if you want to push, we can countersue. Harassment, defamation, her online stunt gives us ground. Do it, I said. All of it. And dig into her finances. Something's off. I've been paying her way too long. Pete paused. You sure? That's opening a can of worms. I'm sure, I said. She wants to play dirty. Let's see how deep the dirt goes. He said he'd get on it, and hung up. I finished my coffee, grabbed my keys, and headed to the restaurant. Needed to keep my hands busy, keep my mind from spinning out. The place was humming by noon. Weekend brunch crowd, families and hipsters packing the tables. I jumped in, pouring coffee, bussing plates, anything to stay moving. Jenny caught me mid-shift, her phone in hand. Boss, you see this? She said, showing me the screen. Carrie posted again. Picture of her crying, caption, my own brother's trying to destroy me. All I wanted was a nice night for Dad. Hundreds of likes, sob story comments piling up. I handed her a stack of menus. Let her cry. People see through it eventually. But it bugged me. She was good, twisting it, making me the monster. By afternoon, Pete called back. Got something, he said. Ran a credit check. Your sister's got 3 cards and collections, maxed out. Payments stopped 6 months ago. Guess who's been picking up the slack? Me. I said, my stomach sinking. How much? Hard to say exact, but thousands. And here's the kicker. 1 card's got your name on it. Co-signed, looks like. I gripped the phone tight. I never signed anything. Figured, Pete said. Forgery's my guess. I'm pulling records. If we prove it, this suit's dead, and she's in deep. I thanked him, hung up, and stood there, staring at the wall. Forgery. My own sister. I shouldn't have been surprised, but it still hit like a sucker punch. I trusted her. Co-signed loans years back, when she swore she'd pay me back. Guess she found a way to keep the gravy train rolling. That night, I drove to the garage, locked myself in, and started digging through old boxes, paperwork, bank statements, anything I could find. Took hours, but I found it. A loan agreement from 4 years ago, my signature on the dotted line. Only problem? It wasn't my handwriting. Sloppy, rushed, like someone traced it off an old check. I sat back, the paper shaking in my hand. This wasn't just greed. This was theft. Sunday, I met Pete at his office, a cramped little place downtown, Smelled like stale coffee and printer ink. I handed him the paper. She faked it, I said. What now? He scanned it, grinning. This is gold, Jake. Fraud's a felony. We file this with the countersuit. She's cooked. Could see jail time. I nodded, slow. Do it. But keep it quiet till we're ready. I want her to think she's winning. Pete filed the papers Monday morning, harassment, defamation, and a fraud claim that'd make her sweat. I went back to work, kept my head down. By Wednesday, the restaurant's post had gone viral. Local news ran another story, this time with customers chiming in, saying I was a stand-up guy. Carrie's pity party started losing steam, comments turning on her. Sounds like you're the problem, not him. Thursday night, Mom called. I picked up, figuring she'd beg again. Jacob, stop this, she said, voice trembling. Carrie's falling apart. She might lose her job over this. She might lose more than that, I said, cold. She stole from me, Mom. Faked my name on a loan. Silence. Then, you're wrong. She wouldn't. Got proof, I said. Tell her to drop the suit, or it's all coming out. Mom hung up. No goodbye. I figured that was it. Radio silence till court. But Friday, Carrie showed up at the restaurant, storming in during the dinner rush. You son of a bitch, she yelled, loud enough to turn heads. You're ruining my life. I stepped out from the kitchen, calm as I could. You ruined your own life. Drop the suit, Carrie. She laughed, wild and sharp. Never. You'll pay for this. All right, I said, nodding to Jenny. Call the cops. Trespassing. Carrie's face went white. You wouldn't. Cops are on speed dial, Jenny said, phone already out. Your move. She glared, then spun on her heel and left, muttering threats. I watched her go, my heart pounding but steady. This was it, the breaking point. She'd either back off or double down, and I was ready either way. Saturday, Pete called. Judge saw the dismissal. Threw her case out, said it's frivolous. Our countersuit's moving forward. She's got till Monday to respond. I exhaled, long and slow. Good. Let's see what she does. That night, I sat in my truck by the river, same spot I'd gone after Friday's blowout. Watched the water, let the quiet sink in. I'd won round one, but I knew my family, they'd fight dirty till the end. And I'd be waiting. Sunday morning, I woke up to a text from Pete. Carrie's lawyer called. They want to settle. Meet me at noon. I read it twice, letting it sink in. Settle. After all her big talk, she was blinking first. Part of me wanted to tell her to shove it, let the countersuit rip her apart in court. But another part, the tired part, just wanted it over. I texted back, see you there, and got moving. I drove to Pete's office, the sky heavy with clouds like it might rain any second. My truck rattled over potholes, the familiar clunk of the suspension reminding me I still hadn't fixed that transmission. Funny how life piles up, family drama on one side, a busted truck on the other. Pete was waiting when I got there, tie loose, coffee in hand. He looked like he hadn't slept much either. They're scared, he said, sliding a folder across his desk. Your fraud claims got teeth, forged signature, paper trail. Her lawyer knows it's a felony rap if it sticks. They're offering to drop her suit and pay your legal fees if you drop ours. I flipped through the folder, Carrie's lawyer's letter, all formal and stiff, begging for a truce. What's the catch? I said. No catch, Pete said. They just want out. But if you push, we can nail her. Fraud's no joke, couple years behind bars, easy. I leaned back, the chair squeaking under me. Jail. My sister in an orange jumpsuit, Mom crying at every visit, Dad blaming me till he's blue in the face. I didn't want that, not really. I wanted her to hurt, sure, to feel what I'd felt all these years. But prison? That's a different kind of permanent. What do you think? I asked. Pete shrugged. Your call, man. Settle. It's clean. Over fast. Push. You went big, but it's ugly. Family's already a mess. How much worse you want it? I stared at the folder, my gut twisting. Give me till tomorrow. I need to think. He nodded, and I left, driving straight to the garage. Needed my hands on something solid, metal, tools, anything to ground me. I spent the afternoon welding scrap into a bench I'd been messing with, sparks flying, the hiss of the torch drowning out my head. By dusk, I had a rough frame and no answers. That night, I went back to the restaurant. It was quiet. Sundays are a slow day, just a few regulars nursing beers at the bar. I sat in my office, door shut, and pulled out an old photo from my desk drawer. Me, Carrie, Mom, and Dad at the lake, back when I was maybe 10. She's grinning, missing a front tooth. I'm holding a fish, proud as hell. Mom's laughing. Dad's got his arm around her. We looked happy. When did that die? Monday morning, I called Pete. Settle it, I said. But add one thing, she pays back the loan she forged. Full amount, no excuses. Smart, he said. I'll draft it up. She'll hate it, but she'll sign. By noon, it was done. Pete faxed the papers. Carrie's lawyer sent them back. Her signature scrawled at the bottom. $5,000 for the loan, plus my fees. Total hit to her was close to 7. She'd feel that sting for a while. I felt, not good, exactly, but lighter. Like I'd cut a rope that had been dragging me down. I figured that'd be the end of it. Settlement signed. We're over. But Tuesday night, Dad showed up at my apartment. I was on the couch, eating cold pizza, when he banged on the door. I opened it, and there he was, red-faced, holding a beer like a weapon. You satisfied? he said, stepping in without asking. Carrie's broke, your mom's a wreck, and you're sitting here like king of the hill. I set the pizza down, stood up slow. She stole from me, Dad. Forged my name. You gonna pretend that didn't happen? She's your sister, he said, voice low and hard. You didn't have to destroy her. Didn't destroy her, I said. She's paying what she owes. That's fair. Fair. He slammed the beer on my table, foam spilling over. You dragged us through the mud, court, the news, all of it. For what? Pride. I stepped closer, my voice steady. No. For respect. Something you never gave me. He glared, breathing heavy. You think you're better than us now? Big shot restaurant guy? Nah, I said. Just done being less. He shook his head, like I was a lost cause, and walked out, leaving the beer dripping on my table. I wiped it up, tossed the can, and sat back down. My pizza was cold, but I ate it anyway. Tasted like victory, sort of. Wednesday, Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Jacob, please, she said, voice cracking. We're sorry. Carrie's sorry. Come home, we'll talk. I didn't call back. Sorry's cheap when it's forced. Thursday, a check came in the mail, $5,000. Carrie's handwriting on the envelope. No note, just the money. I cashed it, paid off some restaurant debt, and kept moving. The news died down, the regulars stopped asking, and life settled into something like normal. But I knew they'd try again, guilt, tears, whatever worked. I'd be ready. Friday night, I sat by the river, truck parked, radio low. Thought about that photo, that kid with the fish. I wasn't him anymore, hadn't been for a long time. They'd pushed me too far, and I'd push back harder. Maybe we'd fix it someday, maybe not. But for now, I had my life, my restaurant, my garage, my rules. And that was enough. Saturday morning, I woke up to silence. No texts, no calls, no banging on my door. First time in weeks my phone didn't feel like a loaded gun. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, waiting for the other shoe to drop. But it didn't. The fight was over, settlement signed, money paid, war done. Felt strange, like I'd been holding my breath and finally let it go. I got up, made coffee, and sat on the porch with it, watching the street wake up. Normal. Almost too normal. By noon, I was at the restaurant. It was a busy day, weekend rush, tables full, kitchen humming. I jumped in, flipping burgers, pouring drinks, joking with the regulars. Nobody mentioned the drama, and I didn't bring it up. Life was moving on, and I was good with that. Around 3, Jenny pulled me aside, her eyes bright. Boss, check this, she said, handing me her phone. It was a review, 5 stars on some foodie site. Mason's Grill, best steak in town, and the owner's a badass who stands his ground. Worth every penny. I laughed, first real one in days. Guess the story didn't hurt us, I said, handing it back. Hurt, she said. We're booked solid next week. People love a fighter. I nodded, feeling a flicker of pride. Not the loud kind, just quiet, steady. I built this place, held it together, and come out the other side. That night, I locked up late, the air cool and crisp. Drove to the instead of home, needed to finish that bench I'd started. Welded till midnight, the sparks lighting up the dark. When it was done, I sat on it, rough but solid. Felt right. Sunday, I got a call from an unknown number. Almost ignored it, but something made me pick up. Jake. A guy's voice, rough, hesitant. Yeah, I said. Who's this? Name's Tom. Tom Carver. You don't know me, but your sister worked for me a couple years back. In Philly. I sat up, coffee sloshing in my mug. Okay. What's this about? He cleared his throat. Saw your story online, restaurant thing, family mess. Figured you should know, she pulled the same crap with me. Borrowed money, ran up tabs, ghosted when I called her on it. Never pressed charges, should've. Just thought, you're not alone, man. I set the mug down, my mind racing. How much? $3,000, he said. Peanuts compared to you, but it stung. She's a pro, tears, excuses, the works. I exhaled, slow. Yeah, sounds like her. Thanks for telling me. No problem, he said. Good luck, Jake. You did what I couldn't. He hung up, and I sat there, staring at the phone. Not alone. Carrie'd been running this game longer than I'd known, leaving wreckage behind. Made me wonder who else she'd burned. I didn't call her, didn't need to. Tom's words were enough. Monday, I took the day off. Drove out of town, no plan, just rode. Ended up at this diner 2 hours north. Greasy spoon, smelled like bacon and old wood. Ordered pancakes, ate slow, watched the world go by. My phone stayed quiet till evening, when a text from Mom popped up. We're moving on, Jacob. Hope you can too. No sorry, no guilt, just goodbye. I didn't reply. Didn't need to. Tuesday, I got back to work. Business was good, better than good. The bench went out front of the restaurant, a little rough around the edges, like me. Customers liked it, said it had character. I started fixing up the truck too, piece by piece, cash from Carrie's check covering parts. Life was mine again, no strings, no debts. A week later, I got a letter. Plain envelope, no return address. Inside, a note in Dad's blocky handwriting. You're right. We leaned too hard. She's getting help, counseling. Don't know if it'll stick. Take care, son. No check this time. No bribe, just words. I read it twice, then tucked it in a drawer. Didn't burn it, didn't frame it. Just let it sit. Months passed. Restaurant thrived. Expanded the menu. Hired 2 new cooks. I moved to a better place. Small house. No roommates. My name on the deed. Carrie stayed quiet. Heard through a cousin she'd lost her job. Moved back with mom and dad. Counseling or not, she didn't reach out. Neither did they. Christmas came. I spent it with Pete and his family. First holiday in years I wasn't footing someone else's bill. One night in March, I was closing up when a guy walked in. Late 20s, nervous, clutching a crumpled paper. "You Jake Mason?" he asked. "Yeah," I said, wiping down the bar. "What's up?" He handed me the paper. A bank statement. My name on an old account I'd forgotten about. "Found this in my girlfriend's stuff. She said it was hers, but it's yours, right?" I scanned it. $2,000, drained years back. Carrie's fingerprints all over it. "Yeah," I said. "It's mine." "Who's your girlfriend?" He swallowed. "Carrie Mason." I nodded, not surprised. "Keep it," I said, handing it back. "She's not worth the fight." He left, shaken but relieved. I finished cleaning, locked up, and stepped outside. The air was cold, stars sharp overhead. I thought about that kid with the fish, the family in the photo. Gone now, all of it. But I wasn't empty. I was free. Next day, I donated $5,000 to a local shelter. Carrie's money, my choice. Felt good, clean. Then I went to the river, sat on the bank, and let the quiet settle in. No guilt, no rage, just me, the water, and a life I'd fought for. They'd taken a lot, but they couldn't take this. Not anymore.